Lakers Nation Report. This is straight up an intriguing time to be a Lakers fan, and we're not just talking about the big-name superstars or the massive free agency signings. No cap, the real championship moves are often found in the margins, and that's why this latest buzz around Day'Ron Sharpe is getting a lot of people here in the States fired up. The Lakers front office, as we've seen, is always looking for that next clutch piece, that guy who can come in and do the dirty work, and Sharpe from the Brooklyn Nets fits that mold perfectly. He's a restricted free agent, which adds a layer of strategic chess to the whole thing, but his skill set is something we've been clamoring for. You watch the guy play and you see that raw, untapped potential. He's a beast on the boards, especially on the offensive end. He just has that relentless motor, that kind of energy that can completely change the tempo of a game. He's not a guy who's going to hit a ton of jumpers. His game is all about getting to the rim, finishing lobs, and outworking his opponent. As a die-hard Lakers fan here in the States, that kind of hustle is what we live for. We've seen so many players with all the talent in the world, but it's the guys with the heart and the drive who end up being champions. Sharpe brings that in spades. Think about our current situation. We have LeBron James, still playing at an insane level, and Anthony Davis, a true superstar when healthy. But what have we consistently lacked? Consistent, high-energy depth at the center position. We've had guys who can hit a few shots, but we haven't had a young, athletic big man who can just go out there and play with reckless abandon. We're talking about a guy who can set hard screens, roll to the basket, and be a lob threat. LeBron and AD would have a field day with a guy like that. It's like having a reliable running back in the NFL who can just pound the rock for 4 yards every single play. He might not get the headlines, but he's essential for moving the chains and keeping the offense rolling. Sharpe, at just 22 years old, is that guy. His game is still raw, no doubt. He gets into foul trouble sometimes, and he's not a defensive anchor in the vein of a Rudy Gobert or a prime Dwight Howard. But his effort, man, his effort is straight up incredible. He just wants to get to the ball and make a play. We've had backup bigs who were too passive, too focused on not making mistakes. Sharpe is the opposite. He's going to go out there and be a factor, one way or another. The restricted free agency part of this is the key. It's not as simple as just signing him. The Lakers would have to put an offer sheet on the table, and the Nets would have the option to match. This means the Lakers front office, led by Rob Pelinka, would have to be strategic. They'd need to put an offer on the table that's high enough to make the Nets think twice, but not so high that it's a crazy overpay. It's a gamble, no cap. But sometimes, you have to take a risk to get a reward. This isn't a move like trading for a star outfielder in MLB. This is a draft prospect level gamble. We're betting on the upside, on the potential for this kid to become a real piece of our championship puzzle for years to come. Imagine the development. Imagine having him in our system, working alongside AD and learning from the best. This could be a situation where we sign a good player who turns into a great player. That's how championship teams are built. You can't just buy your way to the top. You have to find and develop talent, and this move would be a clear sign that the Lakers are committed to doing just that. Lakers fans, we need to talk about the culture. We've seen what happens when the pieces don't fit. The chemistry is off, the energy is down, and the team just looks lost. Sharpe, with his high motor and gritty play style, feels like he would be a perfect fit. He's a blue-collar guy in a superstar-driven league. He's the kind of player who's going to dive for loose balls, crash the glass hard, and take a charge. Those are the plays that don't always show up in the stat sheet, but they're the plays that win you games. They're the plays that get the crowd fired up at Crypto.com Arena. The Lakers need more of that. We've got the talent, now we need the heart. A move like this shows that the front office is listening and understands what this team is missing. This isn't a splashy headline, not like a blockbuster trade for an all-star, but it's the kind of move that could be a huge difference maker in a 7-game playoff series. The kind of guy who can come off the bench and just change the momentum with a couple of big rebounds and an energy play. It's the kind of move that championship teams in the NFL make when they sign a key role player in free agency. So, while everyone is talking about the biggest names on the market, let's not overlook this one. Day'Ron Sharpe is a name to watch, and for good reason. He represents a long-term strategy and a commitment to building a sustainable winner. He's a young player with a ton of potential, and he plays with the kind of energy that is contagious. He would bring a much-needed jolt of youth and athleticism to our front court. The Lakers, as a franchise, have always been about winning, but they've also been about smart, strategic moves. This would be one of those moves. It's a play for the future, but it's also a play for the present. A guy who can come in and immediately contribute, learn from the best, and potentially grow into a starter down the line. That's the dream. That's the kind of foresight that wins you championships. Lakers Nation, keep your eyes on this one. It might just be the move we've been waiting for, a low-key, high-impact signing that could pay off in a big, big way. We need more guys who are willing to go into beast mode every single night, and Day'Ron Sharpe seems to be one of them. This is the kind of fire we need.